There we go. It has started. Okay, so good morning once again, and welcome everyone to the Research Capacity Development Unit in collaboration with the FEBE faculty to the Masters and PhD pre-registration program. And my name is Dr. Chandra Pillay, and I will be the facilitator for the session today and also the representative from RCD. I am also joined by Ms. Koketso Pila, who will also be working closely on this project. First of all, I would like to start off by thanking all of our attendees and most importantly, our faculty members from FEBE who have worked very closely with us to put this pre-registration package together. And before we start, I'd just like to go over the agenda today. So today will be the orientation part 1, which is the introduction to your faculty, and it will have various speakers from the faculty to cover important information and essential personnel into having a positive postgraduate journey. So with that being said, I'd just like to check with Prof. Shongwe or Prof. Daniel if they would like to welcome you guys before I go into my description of the pre-registration program.
Good morning, Dr. Chandra.
Good morning, Prof. Thank you.
I think that Dean has to start and then I'll come in with more details. I'm not sure if he's in yet.
Okay, that's fine. I think maybe I'll go ahead and start with the description of the pre-reg program, and then maybe if Prof. Daniel is here, then you can go ahead after that. I'm not sure. Oh, I see Prof. Daniel is here. Sorry, Prof. You may go ahead.
Bus.
Sorry, Prof. I think your sound is not coming through well.
I'm trying to get me to speak, but I can't even. Hello?
Hi, yes, we can hear you.
Hello?
Hello? Hi, Prof. We can hear you.
Hello, colleagues. I don't know if you can hear me. I'm having a problem with my network. I'm at APK, but I'm still having a problem, and I think I would ask Prof. Shongwe and others to proceed.
Okay, no problem. Prof. Shongwe, would
Can
you like
to hear me?
Yes. There's just a little bit of an echo because I think you may be logged on to 2 accounts here. There's 2 mics on. Okay, there we go. There's 1 account now. Okay. Prof. Shongwe, is it okay if I go ahead and then you may go after me?
Hello? I think there's a problem on the network. Dr. Chandra, please go ahead here.
No problem. Thank you, Prof. Okay. Okay. Once again, welcome. I'd just like to start off with a brief introduction about this program and why we are doing it. So the objective of this program is to equip students with the understanding of the fundamentals of research and to gain proficiency with the support services that the university offers to help them through their postgraduate journey, as well as the main aim of this program is for the students to produce a well-structured research proposal at the end of this. And this pre-registration program is structured into different themes, and these themes will be running from July to October with both online and physical sessions. So there are 6. It's today's one, which is the orientation part 1, the introduction to your faculty, and 2, this pre-registration program. The second theme would be orientation part 2, or getting started with the pre-registration journey. Orientation part 3, which will be the introduction to the support services and how they can assist you throughout the journey. Number 4 would be workshops on steps to writing the research proposal. Number 5 is a focus on academic writing, which is actual writing sessions. And the last one would be finalization of the research proposal, which takes into account everything you've learned over the previous workshops and putting it into a final proposal. So as I mentioned, today is orientation part 1, and we are joined by the colleagues of FEBE to introduce you to this program as well as let you know about the structures and processes of the faculty. So to get straight into orientation part 2, which actually starts on the 25th of July. The theme is getting started with the pre-registration journey, and these are all online sessions. Guidance will be provided on navigating the postgraduate journey, finding the right supervisor and relevant study. And as I mentioned, all these sessions will be held online. And then moving on to orientation part 3, which is the support services that I mentioned. UJ has many that will assist you in the postgraduate research journey, and you should ensure that you have maximum use of these offerings and become familiar with these units. Again, all these sessions will be held online. We then move on to the steps to the writing proposal. So at this point of the pre-registration journey, I know for FEBE, we don't have supervisors allocated yet. You will be working closely with the different departments to find your research topic and project. But for now, I think you have a general idea of what your research project would be. So going forward from here, the workshops have been designed in a step-by-step manner to complete writing the research proposal. So by the end of these workshops, the first draft of the research proposal should be completed. But there's nothing to worry about if we don't have a set research proposal, as we will work with you based on which stage you are at. So once again, these sessions will be held online. Then the month of September is reserved to focus and buckle down on polishing up your academic writing skills. So this will be structured as formalized group sessions, which are facilitated by writing consultants. Myself, because I come from the science and engineering background, I will be assisting with this. And this provides also an opportunity for students to interact with peers of the same journey. So for these writing sessions, it will all be physical, and there will be a booking schedule in place to ensure booking in advance, and you have to attend a minimum of 3 sessions. The expectation after this is the readiness for an oral mock presentation scheduled for the last week of September. As usually within a pre-registration journey, you do present to the department on your research proposal. And then the last theme is the finalization of the research proposal, which the 3 weeks of October will be dedicated to. So this is now after you've gone through your mock presentation, and we'll be incorporating the feedback you get from there into finalizing your research proposal. So again, these will be physical sessions, and there will be a booking schedule in place with a minimum of 3 writing sessions that you have to attend. So to follow all of this step by step, we have registered you to a Moodle community, which is called the 240CM 277 pre-registration program. If you log onto ULink and select the Moodle tab, you will find this under your courses. So the reason for having this community is to provide you with your faculty's pre-registration program guide. So everything I've presented today is in PDF format in a guide, which we'll find on the Moodle community. We will also send out important announcements and reminders through this community, which will come as emails as well. And we will upload all related workshop registration links, recording, and resources. So before you even attend a workshop, you need to register using the link. I'll explain why in the next slide. And then for those that could not make a particular workshop, we will have the recordings and resources uploaded. And as well for the students that perhaps can't make it to the support services workshops, we have the information uploaded there as well. So I did mention that you have to register for all workshops in advance. This registering will ensure that the MS Teams webinar links are sent to you automatically. And you will find these workshop registration links under the workshop information and resources tab on the Moodle community. And lastly, this is more just to explain maybe to the staff members as well as to ensure the importance to the students. We will be monitoring student progress by providing the faculty vice deans, the administrative team, and or prospective supervisors with monthly updates. And this will be implemented in the form of attendance registers. So another thing why you have to ensure that you register using the Microsoft Teams link is that your name is logged on that register, and we can extract it from Microsoft Teams to provide the registers to the faculty. We will also be sending you feedback forms after every workshop. I will actually be sending a feedback form for this session as well, so you'll get to see what that is like. And for the students, we will be issuing certificates. So the registering to these sessions is very important because we will be sending the certificates based on that report that we get. And I'd just like to stop here quickly to maybe show the students what the Moodle community looks like, so that after the session, they can go and download the guide and see where the workshops are located. Okay, so just to confirm, everybody can see the screen, am I right? Oh, sorry, swapped for a bit. Okay, so if I really maybe want to take you back, you log onto ULink, you click on this UJ Moodle tab. Okay, sorry, it has logged me out. Log into ULink, UJ Moodle tab. You'll find my courses listed here. It's the 240CM 277 Moodle community. And this is where you will find all the information that I was talking about in reference to the support services. But most importantly, this is where the announcements will be posted. It will be sent via email as well, but you can go back and look over here. Then we have the guides uploaded. So FEBE is already uploaded, and this is what it looks like when you click on it. So this basically has all the information for the pre-registration journey. But we have also separated it into the specific workshops, information and resources. You go specifically to your faculty, and you will find the workshops divided by months, as well as the registration link here. And we will upload the recordings and any presentation slides as well. Okay. Just like to go back. That is the end of my presentation, but I will take questions at the end of the session. And for any queries, we have put our email address in here to assist you throughout the pre-registration program. And with that being said, I'd like to thank you for your attention, and again to the faculty for all their assistance with this pre-registration program. I will now hand you over to Prof. Daniel or Prof. Shangwe.
No, thank you very much. I really do not think there's much we can say. I think you have introduced what this is, the program that will be allowing students to do a pre-registration. I'm glad that there will be a program and the students will be able to follow. I hope there will be a counterpart to this program that will be dealing with those who are registered already as well. If should they need a refresher, courses or courses, should they need refresher courses, and also that we now have new processes for PhD. We have a viva voce process where you have to defend your PhD thesis. So it will be good for students to be aware of those things when they start in their programs. So if, if you do not have more, I'm sure you can invite questions, because some of the colleagues who are here might have questions about how this process will benefit them, and they may want to ask questions around that. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. Daniel. I think you mentioned a very important point. So apart from the pre-registration program, we do offer workshops throughout the year, and over the year, we follow the postgraduate life cycle. So let me just pull up our website for the other workshops that we have, that the pre-registered students are welcome to even attend in their own time. So this is our website. I can post it in the chat box as well. If you go to workshops over here and 2024, you'll see that we offer workshops throughout the year. Say for July, we have SPSS workshops going on. If you click here, you'll have the registration links. And to mention the Viva, we will be doing that, in September. So apart from the pre-registration program, the students are also welcome to attend our other workshops that are carrying on throughout the rest of the year as well. And we repeat this every year and build on it after we learn what the students' needs are. So yeah, just to mention that to the students and to the staff as well. Maybe I'll take some questions before passing on to the next speaker. Okay, we do have a hand up from Bongi Nkosi. You may go ahead.
Hi, thanks, Prof. Doc. The question I have is the in-person sessions. Are they mandatory? Because for work travel issues, is there a way of accessing the information similar to the online ones, which would be recorded or things like that?
Okay, good question, actually. So those physical ones are actually consultations with the writing consultants that are employed by the PGS. So it is in person, but I will find a way to make this work for those students that are doing distance learning. Perhaps we could book a different time with the writing consultants online with you guys. I'll just follow up with the director of PGS, and then I will send an announcement out, if that's fine. Good. Okay, I don't think there's any more questions for now, so I'd like to pass over to Prof. Shongwe.
Thank you, Dr. Chandra. I'm just turning on my camera just briefly. Maybe some people have got data issues, just so you can see me. Professor Shongwe, I'm the Vice Dean in the Faculty of Engineering, working together with Prof. Mashao, who's here, my boss, who's the Dean. So we want to welcome you to our faculty. I'm just going to turn off the camera. We welcome you into our faculty as you have pre-registered. We are aware that you are not yet fully registered, but still same processes will apply to you that we can actually apply to all students who are fully registered. So mine is just to take you through some of the important processes. And we've got a committee that is very, very key to your success in your postgraduate studies, which I chair, called the Faculty Higher Degrees Committee. So I'm going to take the students through that process, and maybe there'll be some questions that they can ask at the end to make the conversation richer. It's just a short presentation. First, I'm not sure if you can see, is it on slide mode now? Can you see my slide? Can you see the slides I'm sharing?
Yes,
Yes,
you
you
can
can
see
see your
Prof.
slide. Yeah,
Okay,
you can see your slide.
excellent. I know some of you have chosen different fields in our Faculty of Engineering, but our faculty consists of 5 schools, as you can see, the ones that are in bold at the top. You've got these different schools: School of Civil Engineering, you've got mining, you've got mechanical, electrical, and you also have got the postgraduate School of Engineering Management. And under the schools, there are departments, and we've got 14 departments that you fall under. And you belong to either of those 14 departments which you have chosen. And we are a very large faculty, of approaching about 10,000 students that we have, which are your colleagues that you can work with from undergrad to postgraduate. You've got also staff members who have attended here. I can see there's some HODs, and there are also other staff members who are going to be your supervisors. Some are already your supervisors, because I know that with pre-registration, some of you have already contacted prospective supervisors. So this is just a brief picture, a snapshot of our faculty. Coming to your processes, just to start off, I just want to make you remember or aware, if you're not aware of this, that as you start your PhD, you either register full-time or part-time. As you also start your master's studies, it's full-time or part-time. So both master's and doctoral can be part-time and full-time. And under full-time, you can see that for master's, you are given 24 months, that is 2 years to complete. For doctoral, you're given 3 years, but we do take it to the 4th year. So it's allowed, you can have 48 months. Now, what does it mean in this case when we say maximum time? It's very, very important. There is something called 7F or at UJ, which is not a desirable place to be in. That is, if you've exceeded your maximum time of study, then you obviously are going to be discontinued in your study, and you can now apply for an appeal to convince us in the Faculty Higher Degrees Committee that you deserve a second chance to continue with your studies. And if you're part-time, as you can see, it's 36 months, and doctoral is 5 years. And you also have got minimum time. Some of you are fully engaged in your studies, and if you happen to do your master's degree, it's possible, and some students have done it. In 1 year, we can graduate you. allow you to graduate. However, if you happen to do it in 11 months and you want to graduate before 11 months, unfortunately, we cannot allow that. So that's what the minimum time means. You can just wait for that 1 month and then we can graduate afterwards. So it's a good thing to finish quick in your studies. However, we've got some set rules which prohibit students from coming with work from some other institution and pose as if it's their own work. So that's just to allow for that process. Now that you have pre-registered, the faculty higher degrees committee processes, they kick in. FHDC, we call it in our faculty and the university. And we call it a faculty higher degrees committee. So it's a faculty being FEBE, Faculty of Engineering in the Built Environment. So you are going to work on a proposal, as Dr. Chandra stated, and we do advise our university has got a lot of resources to help you with that proposal. I do advise from the faculty's perspective that make sure you work with your supervisor. You don't want to go off the tangent trying to work on a topic that your supervisor is not approved or is not happy with. So your supervisor is key. Is the first person that you really want to start working with. You can work it on your own and pose the topic to your supervisor. If they like it, that's good for you. Then you also are going to this is for full restoration. I'm not sure for pre-restoration. Dr. Chandra will guide you if you have to do it within 9 months as well. Maybe you'll be given more time. If you are fully registered, you will have to defend your proposal that you've worked on. We give you 9 months maximum for PhDs. And for masters, you can do it in 6 months or in the 9 months, you are allowed. But you need to now sit before a committee, which is within your school. We call it SRPC, School Research and Postgraduate Committee, which is chaired by the head of schools that are also part of this meeting. So you are going to be judged on a proposal and make sure that it's the right and the correct proposal to assist you to fast track your studies. If it's not a good proposal, you have to redo the proposal and redo the defense. So a defense is basically almost like an examination of some sort of a proposal to check. They're just critiquing and making sure it's correct. And also the other process that is important, number 3, is within 3 months of registration. Don't wait for 3 months, by the way. You can do it on the first time you register, is to complete what you call a study field and a supervisor form. This is a form in our FHDC that allocates you to a supervisor. It binds you with the supervisor, and there's a second form as well called the Student Supervisor Agreement, which you need to sign and the supervisor needs to sign. This one outlines your roles and responsibilities, your roles as a student and the roles of the supervisor. How often do you meet your supervisor is going to be outlined in that agreement. And what is the supervisor supposed to do, help you or assist you with, is going to be outlined in that supervisor and student agreement. So this is to make sure that your supervisor does rather meet the end of the deal and you also do your own part. So that's basically what it is for. So in that part number 3, you are now tied with that supervisor. Should you wish to choose another supervisor, obviously there has to be that divorce, which it's always not a nice thing. So this is very, very important step to make sure you have a supervisor and you formalize that relationship. Number 4, you have during the course of the study, you need to fulfill your duties which are in 3P, where you have signed, and you need to make sure that you do what is in that agreement. I hope all that is clear at this stage once you've registered. There is a point that I've highlighted at the end of this slide. As you can see, I put a star there. It's called PhD by publication. Right now, you have registered by default that you are going to go through this process, publish when necessary, and also have a thesis or a dissertation. But for those who are doing a PhD, this is only for them. You are going to have a thesis at the end to submit for examination. There are students who choose another part of the PhD, which is called article-based PhD, where we need 3 journal papers or articles. You publish them, then you can actually be in a good position to graduate without writing the full thesis. The supervisor again can guide you on how that is done. For those students who actually are good with publishing for a good start, there is a process. You have to do this within 9 months of your registration if you wish to change from your conventional PhD to your PhD by thesis or sorry, by publication. Coming to number 5 now. Now, when coming to number 5, you have worked throughout your thesis or your dissertation. If you're doing masters, now you're ready to submit. We always have students complaining that they completed their work a long time ago, submitted to the supervisor, and nothing is happening. Their work is not being examined. Whereas they didn't do the steps that I've outlined in the slide. So when you're ready to submit, you need to communicate this with the supervisor all the time so they are aware that you're ready to submit. So you inform your supervisor so they can do the process, the necessary, follow the process. Because if you don't follow the process, you can finish your thesis or your dissertation, it will sit there in your computer without really being sent out for examination. So you need to submit your thesis or dissertation title for approval. So before you submit it out, you can have that document. We need an approved title, which is the FHDC has to approve that. And that is submitted by the supervisor to us as the FHDC. And also, the work needs to be assessed. Who's going to assess your work? It's called assessors or examiners. So the examiners need to be nominated and sent to the FHDC for approval. We cannot send a dissertation or thesis to assessors that are not approved or that are not existing there. So you need to make sure you do 5A. That step is very, very important. Then in B, after you've done part A, 5A, and you are successful because you can suggest a title, we may not approve it if it doesn't follow the guidelines. You can suggest assessors, they may not be the right ones for you. We won't approve them, so they need to be approved. Now, only then can now the dissertation or thesis be formally considered for submission to the faculty. When submitting this, it can be the student or the supervisor to submit to the faculty office. However, we do suggest that you submit via a supervisor. Only with the faculty office you can check if it's really submitted. And remember also that the supervisor is part of your study. They work with you, so their name is there. So there is this part, the last point. There is what you call a release form. If the supervisor feels that your work is not ready for submission, they will not sign the release form. So make sure that the supervisor is happy with the work, and then that release form needs to be signed by the supervisor, then it can be submitted. So as you can see, there are steps that need to be followed for you to submit your final dissertation. Obviously, or thesis. Obviously, if you are in disagreement with the supervisor and you feel that your work is ready, we can go through a difficult process of trying to submit without that, but we don't advise that you do that. Or we can allocate to another supervisor. It's also not something that we advise on towards the end of your study to change the supervisor. Number 6, when your thesis has been sent or dissertation has been sent out, we give the assessors a time period. For masters, it's 4 weeks. That is for minor dissertations. Then for full dissertations, still masters, it's 5 weeks. And for doctoral, it's 6 weeks. This doesn't mean that you're going to get back your work, your dissertation examined in 6 weeks, 5 weeks, or 4 weeks. There's a lot of things that happen. Some examiners may delay. It happens a lot. So don't expect that now we submitted and start counting 4 weeks and think you get it back in that 4 weeks. But I advise you that you can check after the 4 weeks. Have the results been released or come back to you? So the results, how do they come back to you as a student? It's via your supervisor. So what happens is the faculty officer who sent out the dissertation or thesis for examination receives it back from the assessors. When they receive it back, they disseminate it to the supervisor. Then the supervisor will send it to the student. This is a very important process. It's to make sure that the examiners identities are protected. So the supervisor will send you an anonymous copy of the comments of the examiners without the names or the affiliations. So to make sure that you only take the comments and address them, but not to see who the examiners are. If an examiner wants you to know them, you can know them, but at the end, when you've received your results, that's the end of the examination. And I think some other things that can happen is if you happen to receive that or examiner, your supervisor makes a mistake, sends you the wrong documents that are not anonymized, to inform them so they don't have to do that, to send you to burden you with this part. So we to be compromised, basically. We don't want your studies to be compromised by you getting the examiner's names revealed before it's necessary, before time, right? So now the results, they come back from the assessor. How do we handle those results? So results, as I've stated, they are shared by the supervisor as to you as a student, anonymized. And the student has to address the comments from the assessors. No matter how difficult they are, you need to work through the comments. And when you work through them, you need to produce a document showing that I've addressed this comment in this part of my document, and I've addressed this, I've changed this maybe in section 2A. So you need to have that report. It's a document separate to the final updated thesis or dissertation. Then with that report, you also need to have the final and updated thesis where you've made the corrections. I hope that's clear. And for doctoral studies, there is also the extra process, which has been mentioned by the dean, which is the oral examination, the viva voce. So after getting the examinations, the comments that you have maybe passed according to the examiners, for doctoral, you have not yet passed until you've done also the viva voce, which is a necessary extra step. It's another layer to the examination, which is an oral one. So be aware of that process. Don't say we waited for 5 weeks and examiners came back with the work, but you still not, your results, you still don't know them. Then the supervisor needs to submit all the documents. After your corrections and all the forms, the supervisor, they know what they need to submit to us. So when they submit your final outcome to us as the FHDC, the master study, we get to approve that at the FHDC. So meaning when we have a faculty higher degrees committee, if your master study, all the documents are there and they're in order and they're correct, we can approve and say, okay, you've got your master's results, then all that is completed. However, for doctoral, again, extra step. There's another committee called the SHDC, which is the Senate Higher Degrees Committee, which now approves your doctoral results. The FHDC recommends, if they are happy with the results and the documentation, recommends to the SHDC, then the SHDC will have a sitting and now deal with your results. And only after the SHDC has approved can the doctoral results be finalized. And these committees, they sit once a month. I'll end here for now. If there are questions, I can take them. Any questions? Or I can
Yes,
hand
Prof,
over
I
to
have questions.
Shana.
Prof? Sorry, Prof.
Oh, sorry,
Sorry,
it's
Prof.
my watches.
Good morning, Prof. Shoma.
Morning, Zandisile.
Yes, morning, Prof.
Morning.
Thank you, Prof, for giving the opportunity to pose some question here. I just missed the other part in terms of following or doing the study. That is, you mentioned that is one either can go through publication or also going through the, I think it was articles. If you may just clarify, the time frame for the articles, is it equivalent, Prof, to the one that is for the dissertation for PhD, which is it's 5 years? And how that process goes? Does it also follow the same examination steps that is you've underlined here?
Thank you, Zanisile. Yes, it's an important question. I went over that one quickly because I felt that you probably still going to learn about it over time as you are here during the pre-registration. However, I can just give you a few points. Hopefully that will help you. So when you do your dissertation, or rather your thesis, this is for PhD, dissertation for masters. So for your PhD, you can do the conventional route, as you stated. You take your 3-4 years. The PhD by publication is also the same, depending on, we give you the same time period, let me put it that way. But it depends on you how quick you are and how quickly can you publish. If you can publish quicker, you'll have to stay with the minimum time. Remember, I said the minimum time is 2 years. Let's say you finish all your publications in 1.5 years, if you can. It's sometimes that's gonna be a tough thing to do. But if you were to finish it quicker, then you still have to wait to make sure that you graduate 2 years minimum. You cannot graduate less than that. But in most cases, the time period becomes the same because it takes time to get your publications through the journals to be published. So what will happen is now coming to the examination, you take your 3 articles, you put them in a document. You may be required to write an introduction about your study and find also a conclusion at the end. But you have just put the articles together, and they're going to go through to the examiners just like you will do your normal thesis. So they all go through the same process. The only difference is that you don't have to rewrite your thesis in the traditional way. So the advantage is that you don't have to now, after publishing, now still work through the thesis and change certain things, try to avoid some certain similarities. That's the advantage.
Thank you, Prof. It clarifies.
Okay, one more point I think I've forgotten. It's you have to do that with your supervisor within 9 months, which means the 9 months is given to you and the supervisor to find each other, to see what kind of a student you are. Are you a student who's a quick publisher, or are you a student who's supposed to take the conventional route? That 9 months is important to assess you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Prof. Thank you.
Thank you,
Then other
Prof.
questions. Hand over
Thank
to
you, Prof. Shangwe. I think that
Sam.
was very detailed, and it properly outlines the processes to get everyone set up before this journey. We do have a request in the chat. If you could please share the PowerPoint of your presentation. Maybe you can send that to me and then I'll disseminate to the colleagues.
Thank you. I'll send it to Dr. Chandra.
Okay, if there's no other questions for Prof. Shangwe, I'd like to thank him firstly for being our faculty liaison. He has worked very closely with us, and also for joining us today and putting this presentation together. Yes, if there's sorry, Prof. There is another question in the chat. I'll just read it out for you. Question 1, are there specific journals a candidate going the route of PhD by publication is required to publish in? And then question 2, also does the PhD by publication require a proposal, defense, and viva?
Thank you. Thank you for that question. It's a very, very important one. For our publications, our university follows the Department of Higher Education list. So there's a list that the Department of Higher Education gives us. So we call those journals accredited journals. So meaning they're endorsed by the DHET, that they are quality journals. Then it now will depend on the supervisor again. Our faculty also has got the quality in our faculty is improving every day. Apart from the DHET listed journals, we have also seen colleagues are publishing in very high impact factor journals, which are very, very good quality. So as long as you meet the minimum requirement to meet is to meet the requirement of the accredited journals in the DHET list. The supervisor we normally share that document with them so they have those journals. That is to avoid publishing in what we call predatory journals, which are journals that are basically useless in terms of accreditation. So they put your work well under scrutiny, we put it that way. So we do have a list to follow that list. Then secondly, for the PhD by publication, it follows the same process. So you are going to do a proposal defense. You're also going to do the oral examination. It doesn't change. It's just we're easing the burden of writing, let me put it that way, that you don't have to write what you've already published. Thank you.
Okay, seems like that was the last question. So once again, thank you, Prof. I will now pass over to the Head of Faculty Administration, Mr. Bongani Nkosi.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Prof, for summarizing almost everything concerning the course. But students, please don't panic yet because we are not in the course. You still have 6 months more extra to be on the ball. The main aim of this exercise or the pre-registration is to actually give you tools to make the registration as the course as easy as possible, the masters and doctoral, so that there won't be a struggle. They compiled everything, as Dr. Pillay alluded before, everything in one, so that your journey will be simple. And right now, it's sort of, we are giving you a head start of 6 months so that you can meet the target or you can complete in time to avoid what Prof just highlighted, the 7F. The duty of the faculty office will be taking you from this pre-registration to registration to identify the departments that you will be belonging to, because right now it's just a crash course for those who will be doing PhD. Will treat it as a refresher course. So it will be advisable to contact one of the faculty our faculty, which is situated at APK Engineering Building, or at the Doornfontein Maruping Building, for more clarity after you've started with the course, because you will need to identify the supervisor as soon as possible. I'm going with Tsepo, who is also the faculty officer in the department postgrad, who will take it further. Mr. Satya, you can carry on.
Thank you, Mr. Gosi. Thank you to everyone. Can everyone hear me?
Yes, you're loud and clear, sir.
Thank you. I think on my side, it's just to also do additions, adding from what the Dean, Prof. Mashao, said, and the Vice Dean, Prof. Shongwe. I think he's covered everything from the faculty side to you guys completing your qualification. But on my side, the only thing that I can add that I think it's important for you guys to know, since you guys are entering into this new journey of beginning your masters, I'll just share these details. There's just details from the faculty side that you guys might want to know about. And if you guys need anything, you can just be starting from the faculty side, and we will link you to the postgraduate school, just in case if you're struggling with anything. So we are here for that. So in what I'm trying to present, it's just the details of everyone in the faculty who deals with what and how. So we have a postgraduate office within the whole faculty, which is there's 2 people situated in that office. It's me, which is Mr. Sateke, and there's Miss Matapa, who's also part of the meeting. She's the secretariat. As Prof. Shongwe explained, that she was the one that will be taking you guys through the journey of completing your masters. That's the approvals of your results and all that. Then I deal with examination, where I'll be taking you through the journey of sending your exams out to external examiners and monitoring all that. I think Prof. Shongwe also highlighted that, the examination part. And then after the faculty office, I'm just gonna go straight into the faculty offices. So how we've situated our faculty or centralized our faculty is we have a postgraduate office that actually deals with examination. So there you start interacting with us more when you submit your work. But before then, the interactions happen with your supervisors. That's that's you completing your study field, your titles, but your supervisor interact with us through that. I don't think you have to be worried about the paperwork on that side. But where you start interacting with the postgrad office, that will be when you submit. And normally that happens through once you're in deep in your masters. So with faculty office now, like I said, it's centralized in a way that for admins and registration and anything that you might need from the faculty side, there's faculty officers from respective departments. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. I don't know if you guys can see, we have Folofelo Mangane, who deals with the Department of Electrical Science. Anything that has to do with you guys maybe having issues admin-wise, needing to change your study period, or if you have anything, maybe adding a module, you deal with Folofelo Mangane on the mechanical side. And there's Ms. Togozile Matibela, who's dealing with the civil side. And the HODs also, I managed to include the HODs. The HOD for electrical is Prof. Von Storms with the email address there. But all this information, you can still come to the faculty and we'll try to make it available to everyone. Mr. Gozile Matibela, who deals with Department of Civil Engineering Science. The HOD is Professor Dinka. We have Miss Hashalia Alwa, who deals with both construction management and Department of Mining. On the Department of Mining, the HOD will be Dr. Admain Lerato. And on the mining side, the HOD is Professor Hobla. We also have the Department of Operations and Quality, which is handled by Mr. Dino Shabangu. And the HOD there is Dr. Matonsela Nelson. I think is also part of the meeting. Folofelo Mohangane also dealing with mechanical science. He's doing both. She's doing both. She's dealing with the electrical and the mechanical science. And there's Miss Vati Swambola, who is in charge of urban and regional. And the HOD, that side, it's Professor Mpambugeli. Oh, I forgot to mention the HOD of mechanical, it's Professor Jen. And we have industrial engineering, which is handled by Miss Velna Mushasha. The Department of Industrial, the HOD is Professor Mashinini, who is also based in DFC. And we have, I think Prof. Shongo also spoke about this one, the School of Engineering Management. That here I mentioned the HO as the head of school, which is Professor Mernawik, and it's been handled by faculty officer Kentani Ngobeni. Another one that is important, it's the Department of Chemical, which is handled by Ms. Paul Naidu. And the HOD, it's Professor Mashifani. And there's also Ms. Anushka Vermeulen, who deals with Department of Metallurgy. And the HOD that side would be Professor Nita. On our side, it's just you guys knowing that you can come in and interact with us at any time that you guys need anything. And from my side, yeah, that would be all. Thank you.
Thank you, Bongani and Sepo. Do we have any questions for the administration team? Okay, there is a question in the chat. Do we have to apply for 2025 academic admission for official registration, or the pre-registration takes us through to that?
The good news is you already been admitted for 2025. You don't have to reapply for it. We'll take you through after this course, whereby we'll send you information when can you register for the upcoming year. I hope you've been answered. Thank you.
Okay. Yes, the question has been answered. Next, the proposal defense date out as yet.
Doctor highlighted the times, but it will be sent again on Moodle. The dates are out for the masters and PhDs, but it's somewhere in October. I have the dates with me. Just give me a few seconds. It's towards the end of October. Sorry, towards the end of September, not October. It's the 27th. The PhDs, it's 27, 9 to 12, and masters 27 from 1 to 4. Thank you.
Sorry, Bongani, just for me to clarify, these are the proposal dates for the already registered students. Am I right? Just following on from Prof. Shongwe, I think he said they have 9 months.
This one is the pre-registration for the research proposal.
Okay.
Yes.
Pre-registration with the research proposal. Okay, and there's another question. Please, after pre-registration has been complete, how do I know my sign-in or login information?
We can guide you on Moodles also, or you can contact the faculty will direct you, because immediately when you are registered, you can have an access, or you will be, they can create your login and you can continue. Thank you.
As Mr. Tsebo outlined the contact details, maybe I'll also get that so to distribute to the attendees of today.
Yeah, I will make it available, and that way you can just share it with everyone. But they can also come visit us at any time they have the chance. Thank you.
We have a question. With the pre-registration, can we have access to Ulink and Moodle? So I think Mr. Bongani alluded to this. You do have a student number, and that gives you access to Ulink and Moodle. Okay, we have a hand up. Omobolanande, you may go ahead. Hi, you may go ahead. Okay, I see the hand has gone back down. Okay. I think that is all the questions for now. I'd like to thank the administration team as well for the assistance with this. And I am now going to pass you on to your faculty marketing coordinator, Ms. Precious. Sorry, Precious, are you there? I think I see you logged on. Okay, while we wait for Ms. Precious, there was another comment in the chat. They got disconnected. They just want to confirm those that are already pre-registered and busy with their proposal, do they still need to apply again for next year? Mr. Bongani said no, they will take you through the process. You've already been registered for 2025, but they will send an announcement. Mr. Bongani, can I just confirm?
Yes, Dr. Right. They are already been admitted. Yes, let me put it that way. Yes, will they have to register, not to reapply for 2025?
Sorry, can I just check, Tsepo, is Precious on the call? I think I see her on here.
Let me check with Precious.
Okay, while we wait for Ms. Precious, maybe we can have one of the departmental HODs go ahead on our program.
Good morning, colleagues.
Good morning.
I am Samuel Kibani. I'm the head of school for mechanical, industrial quality and operations. I was asked to speak on this item, but I think it would be appropriate to find out if there are any HODs in the call so that they can introduce themselves. Any colleagues that they can introduce themselves?
Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, Dr. Sam. My name is Kingsley Ogudo. I'm the acting HOD for Department of Electrical Engineering Technology. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And you are based in Doornfontein, DFC, right?
Yes, I'm based in DFC. I'm based in DFC.
Okay.
Thank you.
So all the postgraduate students that are doing masters or PhDs in electrical technology, that is the HOD, and please reach out to him to identify and to be assisted with the supervisor, and also to start working on your proposal. Any other HOD in the call, colleagues?
Morning, everyone. My name is Sandile Ngidi. I am standing in for Dr. Ntebo Ngobo, the HOD of Civil Engineering Technology.
Great stuff. Civil Engineering Technology, Dr. Ngobo is the HOD and the colleague is standing in the place. I see, let me start with the ladies first, Prof. Tebogo, and then I will come to Prof. Anup.
Morning, colleagues. My name is Debo from Mashifana, currently serving as the head of Department of Chemical Engineering.
So all students that are doing masters and PhDs in chemical should come to you, Prof, right?
Yes, Dr. Tabani.
So that they can be able to be allocated supervisors and start the journey of discussion of those proposals, right? Great stuff. Prof. Anup.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. Good morning, everyone. First of all, thank you to Dr. Pille, RCD team, and FEBE faculty for organizing this informative session. I'm representing Department of Quality and Operations Management. I'm not the HOD. Our HOD is Dr. Nelson Modunzela, but he's committed in other meeting at this present moment, so he asked me to represent our department. But I am the departmental postgraduate coordinator. And we do have our own departmental research committee, which is chaired by the PG coordinator, which is at the moment me. And we deal with all the postgraduate related activities, including supervisor allocation, research, student progress, any student complaints, issues, everything related with postgraduate studies as well as research. And we are also based in Donfontein campus. Thank you. Back to you, Dr. Sam.
Thank you very much. Much appreciated. Quality and operations. There is the colleague to be able to assist you. Tolan.
Good day, Dr. Tubani. I'm Tolan David Nena, standing in for Dr. Lerato, Department of Construction Management and Quantity Surveying, Doornfontein.
Thank you very much. I see Andisa. Or Andisa.
It's Andisa. Good morning, colleagues. It's Andisa here from the Department of Urban and Regional Planning, based at DFC campus. I'm standing in for my HOD, Professor Tulisile Mpambukeli. She has a commitment, that's why she could not join the meeting.
Thank you very much, sir. The reason we are introducing the HODs is because from here, the interaction should be between the student and the departments or the school, in the case of Prof. Manawik, the School of Engineering Management. It is very, very important that, as it has been alluded earlier on, that you make sure that a supervisor is allocated to you and that the journey between you and the supervisor in terms of, number one, discussing the research area and also starting the proposal gets started as soon as possible. It is the responsibility of the student to engage the particular department to make sure that there is a supervisor allocated to you and that the journey, as Prof. Shonge alluded to, of discussing your proposal, whether it's coming from the supervisor or whether it's your own topic, but that journey should get started so that you make use of the advantage of the fact that you've started early in the process. Can we take some questions if people, Tsepo, there was that nice slide you did put where there was a list of HODs there. I thought that was beautiful, and I think students need that slide as soon as possible. Can you post it perhaps on the chart so that they can really access that with immediate effect if chair would allow us to do that?
Noted, Doctor. Noted.
Can we take any other questions that students might have as far as where to in terms of finding a supervisor and also starting the journey of working on a research proposal? Okay, Chair. In the absence of questions, I will repeat. We need to make sure that you engage your particular department or school, in the case of engineering management, to make sure that a supervisor is allocated to you or is appointed to guide you in your research journey. And secondly, as soon as you have been allocated a supervisor, the journey of engaging into the research journey, starting with the proposal, starts, and make sure that you make use of every available time you have to get started. And as Prof. Shongwe said, the issue of the relationship between the student and the supervisor is very, 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 very important. Is very, very, very important. The university appoints someone through the committees of the university who will be your mentor, who will walk with you in the journey. It is very, very important that you take heed of the supervisor and work together. It is a two-way process. You must work together with your supervisor to make sure that the journey is as smooth as possible. If there is a problem between you and the supervisor, for whatever reason, you are free to speak to the head of department and get help in whatever challenges that you might inquire during the process. But the important thing is that take heed of the supervision process and take advantage of every process and the meetings you're going to have between yourself and your supervisor, and work on your proposal and on those comments. And may you enjoy your journey. I thought there were comments on the chat.
Thank you, Dr. Sam. I think you drove the importance of making contact with our potential supervisor, and as well as forming a relationship, a good relationship. There are questions in the chat. I think this might be for you and actually Prof. Shongwe. I'm going to go one by one because they are a little bit long. So the first question is, where the selection of a supervisor is concerned for a PhD, how does a candidate who chooses not to continue with his master's supervisor handle likely conflict? And must a PhD candidate's primary supervisor be from his choice department in the case of a multidisciplinary research project or same faculty? That's question number one.
Prof. Shongwe, you want to take that? I think most of these questions should be taken by Prof. Shongwe, actually. Prof. Shongwe?
Thank you, Dr. Kibani, Dr. Chandra. Yeah, I think it's a complicated one. It's not that straightforward when it comes to a candidate who doesn't wish to continue with the supervisor. However, the process starts off as I like what Dr. Kibani has done to introduce the students to the HODs, because it starts off with the HOD and the students. So the supervisor in that department and the student need to talk to the HOD to find a way forward. If they still cannot agree on certain things, then the HOD will take the matter up to the head of school. And again, the head of school can look at the case and decide what needs to be taken. If it can be resolved at the school or departmental level, we're happy with that. However, eventually it can come up to the dean, meaning it comes to myself as the vice dean, and it can eventually go to the dean, or it can stop with me. So what happens there is it depends on where you are with your studies. Early on, excuse me, early on, the supervisor may not have contributed so much into the study. Remember that the supervisor also puts up their time into this. And some supervisors even suggest the idea to the student. So as a supervisor, I may have a bigger project, and I give a student a small share of that to do that as their dissertation or thesis. So now if you disagree, supervisor can decide, say, no, you cannot use the work that I propose to you. You would have to find your own work. So when I say it's complicated, it can be that complicated. If the supervisor is okay and say, okay, I let go of everything, some supervisor can do that and say, I don't want to go through all this and try and stop the student from graduating. Then we'll have to look for another supervisor for you as a student. After we've tried to iron out the disagreements, but it didn't work, then that's where we move on to look for another supervisor. If you are almost done, we can just allocate somebody as a basically an assistant, the person who's going to assist you, not necessarily a supervisor, because you are done just at the process of examination of your studies. So it depends on where you are in your studies, what action you take in this to assist you. That's how I can answer that one.
Can I add on what Prof. Shongo said? Suppose you are a student and you are working with Prof. Shongwe, and Prof. Shongwe is working on a research center, for instance. And now there's a bit of a conflict. As Prof. Shongwe says, the difficulty now is that the research center is centered around the particular individual. And that's why as HOD and as head of school, together with the dean's office, we really try to assist to resolve the conflict in a way that doesn't disadvantage anyone, including the students. Thank you, Prof.
Thank you.
Dr.
Chandra?
Thank you, Prof. and Dr. Sam. Just the second part to that first question was, must a PhD candidate's primary supervisor be from his choice department in the case of a multidisciplinary research project? And then in brackets, they have same faculty.
Okay. In that one, it depends. I'll make an example. If I've shown the departments that exist in our faculty. So let's say you are in electrical engineering. That's where you did your master's. You're doing your PhD now. Your master's and your undergraduate doing basically in electrical engineering. Then you do your PhD now in electrical engineering. But your topic also touches on health, for example. I just want to just go out of the faculty now. So you're maybe working on some machine learning for health patients. Then you have another supervisor somewhere or an expert in health in the health sciences faculty now. It's not even across departments. I'm just moving across to outside our faculty. In that case, what we do is your study is based in our faculty in the Department of Electrical. Then you will need a primary supervisor to be in our faculty. Then you can have a secondary supervisor outside the faculty. So there's a supervisor and a co-supervisor. So you won't have one supervisor in that case. But that also depends on your main supervisor. Do they want to bring in an external person as a co-supervisor? What is their contribution to the study? If they're going to contribute something, yes, you can bring them in discussion with the student, depending on the nature of the study, especially for multidisciplinary research. I hope I've answered that one. If you need a follow-up, they can ask again.
Thank you, Prof. Second question. Where the assessors are concerned, as students, we do understand the assessors are selected by the supervisors and approved by the faculty or institution. At times, as students, we feel there's an alleged influence on the assessors, especially after getting the assessors' responses. How does the faculty keep this from happening?
Thank you, Dr. Schamberg. I'll assume that they're talking about negative influence. Usually, it's rare if you have your supervisor and you are the student and the supervisor who has an interest in the study to tell or to influence an assessor to fail the study, because I'll assume that the student is concerned about failing because their supervisor chose assessors that are influenced or difficult. It's rare. However, if that could happen, it's what we call unprofessional. We have to remember that the assessors that are chosen, as much as they are chosen by the supervisor, they have to act professionally. So what we do is when an assessor chooses, when a supervisor chooses an assessor, the first stage is to nominate the name to us as the faculty hierarchies. Once we approve those names that they've nominated, the supervisor does not talk to the assessor until everything is finalized. Even when the results are coming back, they come through, the communication is via the faculty officer. So that is our processes. So a supervisor cannot directly communicate anything to the assessor until everything is finished, like at the end of like you've gotten your results as a student. So that's one way we do of keeping, making sure that there is no influence of some sort during the study or during the examination process.
I think that was a very good detailed answer, and I hope to the student that your questions have been answered. Another question. I saw that the timelines are 24 months for full-time and 36 months for part-time for a master's degree. Can one be able to complete and submit the dissertation and be able to complete the qualification within a year?
Can I take it? Okay. I think in the slide, I also presented the minimum times. I had maximum and minimum. So for masters, the minimum time is 1 year. That is, you can complete in 1 year. You are allowed. For PhD, the minimum is 2 years. You cannot complete before 2 years. For masters, same, you cannot complete before 1 year. However, if you happen to finish your work, say you're doing a master's degree, you happen to finish, I'll make an example of in 10 months. Reasonable time, you're a very hardworking student. But what we do, you can wait for that 2 months. It's basically the graduation part of it. It's not really like it will stop you from graduating. You're just going to have a slight delay. And remember, there are going to be processes. I told you that the faculty higher degrees committee sits once a month. So it's possible that you miss 1 month already in submitting those documents. You're going to fall into the other month. So a 1 to 2 months delay is really not that influential, especially if your graduation is a bit far. So that's what will happen. So you're allowed to finish within 1 year for masters. You're allowed to finish with after in 2 years, at least 2 years for PhD. So it's at least 1 year masters, at least 2 years for PhD. Thank you.
Thank you, Prof. We have another question as a follow-up to the first question on conflict resolution. So the question goes, what if the HOD is the supervisor in question 1? In this case, the topic is new and yours, but you just want a fresh start with a totally new supervisor, and now no one in the department is willing to supervise you, so not to get on the wrong side of the HOD.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. Very well thought after question. This one, the supervisor, remember we mentioned that there is an HOS, head of school. So if the supervisor is an HOD, then the HOS can assist you in finding a supervisor within the school. We are lucky, I think a special case for engineering among the faculties at UJ. We've got several types of departments within a school, and the colleagues are actually capable of supervising across that school. I was trying to find what I was sharing before, the document I was sharing earlier. Okay, it's fine, I can't find it now. But you can get a supervisor from another department within the same school. That's the first thing you can do. If, however, within the same school, again, you cannot find the supervisor, then we'll have to look for another person who can guide you, who's closer in terms of knowledge and skills to your topic. So across in our faculty, so that can be found. So I'll just share this again just briefly. It looks like I can't share, can I? Hope hope you can see the screen that I have in front of you. Dr. Chandra?
Yes, it's visible.
No, thank you. I hope the other people can see it as well. As you can see, if you look at the civil engineering, for example, that's the first school you have, you will find that there's an HOT, civil engineering science, HOT, civil engineering technology, construction, and so forth. So you can work, you can find a supervisor within these different departments. So it shouldn't be much of an issue. Unless there are serious issues, then we can find you now a supervisor across the schools instead of inside the school. So that can also be resolved. So that's what the point I wanted to make. I'm not sure if I've answered everything. The question.
Yes, that was the last question.
Sorry, sorry, Chair. Can we ask a head of schools that are in the meeting to introduce themselves, just for the benefit of the students?
Yes, thank you, Dr. Sam. Please, can the head of schools go ahead?
Okay, I think it seems as if we don't have any one of them yet, but of course, as I said, I'm the head of school for mechanical and industrial quality and operations. Thank you very much. And I think we have answered all the questions that came to us. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Sam and Prof. Shongwe. I will give proper acknowledgements at the end of the presentation. I just want to move on to Ms. Precious, as we did swap her talk around. If Ms. Precious, the faculty marketing coordinator, can go ahead.
So when you must go get the samples.
Sorry, Tsepo, can I just ask you to please check again? Mr. Bangani, maybe you can just confirm.
Let me just do the follow-up.
Okay, yeah.
She's not responding on my side.
Okay, so maybe I open the floor to questions before we close, or give Ms. Precious a little bit more time. We do have some time left in the allocated time slot. Okay, Ms. Precious is here.
Good morning, colleagues. I got the meeting invite link late. I'm not quite certain what is expected of me in this meeting.
Just maybe from my side, if you could let the students maybe introduce yourself as the faculty marketing coordinator and let the students know what type of things they should look out for from the faculty side that you advertise.
I'm Precious Maputli. I'm the faculty marketing coordinator for FEBE. In terms of stuff to look out for, if you are not already on my mailer list, because we send them quite a number of emails or email us pertaining bursary opportunities, job opportunities, vacancies, webinars, workshops, any activities that are taking place within the faculty, we use that email. So if you're not there, I'm going to drop my email in the chat box. Please email me so we can put you there so you can stay in the loop about what's happening. Also important is there's an app called Upload. If you as a postgraduate student have achieved anything, whether you attended a conference, you presented a paper, or anything within your personal capacity that you think is worth being recognized or noted by the institution, something perhaps that you're doing to contribute significantly to the industry, or projects that you're working on in your personal capacity, you use that Upload app to upload your achievements. So you can email me as well if you don't know how to go about sharing. We also celebrate you on our social media platforms, so you will engage with my office in that respect. Achievements that you have achieved, if you featured in the media, on any media platform, community, national, international media, communicate with my office. But in terms of eventings and things like that, please, you can email me, and then if you're not already on the emailers, all the information goes on the website, our social media, and we also distribute through the internal emailers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Precious. Yes, I think your contact details are also on the PDF document that Sepo sent. I will communicate with the attendees afterwards. Okay. Just one more time, if the students have any more questions, I think. Oh yes, and Ms. Precious has dropped her email in the chat box. Just one more time, if the students have any more questions about the pre-registration program from the RCD side, if I can answer that, or any questions for the HODs, I think Prof. Daniel and Prof. Shongwe have left the session. So in terms of the Faculty Higher Degrees Committee, I'm sure that maybe we can pass the questions on to him at a different stage. Okay. If there are no questions, can I just get a thumbs up to close the session? Okay, we do have a thumbs up. Okay, I did mention previously that I would be sharing a feedback form link. This is more for the students for us to have a record that you did attend the session, as right now I don't have your exact email addresses and student numbers. So if you could please fill in this feedback form, I'm going to paste the link now. Yes, and then we will generate this report and also send it to the faculty to notify them that you have attended the orientation session. So with that, I would also like to close the session. I would first like to express our appreciation to the Faculty of Engineering and Built Environment team, Prof. Daniel for endorsing this program, Prof. Shongwe for his contribution and development of this program, Mr. Bongani and Mr. Tsepo for working very closely with me in putting this orientation together and for liaising with the students, all the HODs and deputy HODs, as well as the staff for taking their time today to speak to the students, Ms. Precious for also joining us. And with that, lastly, I'd like to thank the students and wish you all the best on this pre-registration journey. By the end of this, we will have your proposal out and one goal achieved. So we will see you in the following months. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Bye.
Thank you. Bye.